I've been playing a lot of Forager lately, and I am completely and utterly addicted to this game. Alright, now, I know I am very much late to the party on this one. I know this game launched on Steam a little while ago, earlier on this year. In fact, when it first launched, I was like, I really want to play that game, but this, much like I did with, say, Dead Cells, was a game that, when I saw it, I was like, I really want to play that handheld. I feel like that's the kind of game that I want to play on the go. I feel like it's the kind of game that I want to play, like, sitting on the sofa, lying in the bed. Basically, just, I don't want to sit at my desk playing on keyboard, I want to play it handheld. So I waited. And I'm so glad I did, because, this game is awesome. If you've played Forager, you already know all about it. I'm sure you can already tell people down below just why this game is awesome. But if you haven't played it, this is like if you like farming games, right? If you like Harvest Moon, if you like Stardew Valley, if you like building things, if you like Minecraft, if you like other things within that space like Dragon Quest Builders, this game is definitely going to be for you, right? Forager. In fact, before I even talk about what Forager is, let me talk about my story, right? This weekend, I sat down and I was like, right, I want to see what this game is about. I'm going to sit down, just play it for an hour. Now, let me just tell you right now, you don't play this game for just an hour, right? You might set out to do that. It doesn't happen. I sat down, I was like, right, let me just start my island, start building, start doing this stuff. And then like fast forward 3-4 hours later, I was like, oh, where did the time go? What the hell? Sun's going down. I'm just like, suddenly I've got all these farms building. I'm just like collecting all these items. Time disappears. This game is a time vacuum. It's time black hole. It's just like, whoosh, just takes all your time away, right? But in a good way. So it's basically a building / farming / kind of adventure game. There's 3 core components to this, right? You farm a load of stuff, so stone, gold, ore, wood, flowers, everything, right? You farm stuff and you then use that to build stuff and you expand your islands. And then the kind of adventure-y aspect comes in that there's like dungeons in the game where you can go through and you can solve puzzles and fight bosses. So they are fundamentally the 3 pillars. Now, I also want to start by saying that I have not completed this game. There is probably still quite a lot I have to do. In fact, you can probably see, if you're a Forager player, you can see by my island, I still have a lot of stuff to discover. I still have a lot of stuff to unlock, but I want to talk about it already because already I'm just like, I'm loving this game. It is one of those things that anytime I've got a little gap in my day, I'm trying to sort of pick it up and just do some farming. That is how much I'm trying to play this because it's just so much fun. And what I think I really enjoyed about it is right from the get-go, it was so intelligently done the way that it kind of introduced you to the game. So before we talk about Forager, I want to talk about Stardew Valley, right? Stardew Valley is a hugely popular game, right? It's a game that thousands, probably millions of people love and play and sink a lot of time into. People play it across multiple platforms, and I completely get why. As someone that grew up playing like Harvest Moon, I love those kind of games. But when I personally tried to play Stardew Valley, like last year on the Nintendo Switch, it just didn't click with me, right? And I think part of the reason for that one is because Stardew Valley has a bit of a setup. Like, you start off, obviously you have your farm, but there's quite a lot of things to contend with to begin with. You know, you're managing people in the village, you're working out stuff to do on your farm. There's, like, it took me a little while to build the typical flow. And the reason these games work, any of the farming games work, the second they have you, the second they kind of, like, get their claws in you is when you have a routine. When you're like, alright, I've woken up, I need to go and water my plants, I need to go and check on my cows, I need to go and do this, and then I need to go and fish, I need to go and deliver this to the marketplace. Before I've done that, I need to go back here. Once you have that routine, you have it mapped out, then suddenly they've got you, right? They've literally grabbed onto you and they can't let go, right? Because when you've got that routine, you're just like, it's alright, I'm there. You don't even need to think, you just play, right? You just go through the motion. And for me, to try and get that routine in Stardew Valley took a little while, and it kind of, because it took so long for me, it might not necessarily, if you know what you're doing, then maybe I just went about it the wrong way. Point is, for me, it didn't happen. I didn't quite get to that routine, I didn't quite get to the point where it was flowing in a cycle for me, so I put it down. Forager, on the other hand, does it in a very, very intelligent way. It's got this tutorial where it basically doesn't tell you anything, but at the same time it tells you everything, right? You start off on this tiny island, and there's an exclamation mark, and it says, you need to build a furnace. And you're like, alright, in order to build that, I need 10 stone. Oh look, right next to me is a stone. So you then use your pickaxe, you break the stone, it breaks into 3, and you're like, okay, I need 3 more stones. So you go and break them, suddenly you're like, I've got enough for a furnace. So you build it, and then the next thing is like, hey, why don't you go and build this next thing? And it's like, oh, but I need iron for this. And then suddenly, conveniently, there's some iron over on the island. So it does this very intelligent kind of tutorial system where in very small, basic, manageable chunks, it introduces you to the core components. And once it's taught you those very, very basic things, it's like, I don't need to tell you anything else, right? In fact, no, the only other thing it does is once you've got far enough and you've leveled up, it tells you how to then unlock your skills, which I'll speak about more in a moment. And after that, it's basically like, right, I've taught you how to fish, go fish. And then you start, things start respawning the island. You start farming more materials. You then start building more stuff. When you go and upgrade your skill tree, you unlock more structures and you're like, okay, cool, I need more materials. So then you can suddenly start doing other stuff. Then you find out that you can then use the furnace to craft gold. And once you've got gold, you can then build an expansion to the island and buy new land, which then opens up a whole new area because when you've got the new land, you've got more stuff to farm. And then the cycle goes on. And this is where it grabbed me because I started off in this very small island and at first I was like, cool, fair enough. But then the second I started expanding, the second I started to unlock more buildings and realised that for every new building I needed to farm and create something new, then it just kept on getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And here I am many, many hours later, still discovering even more stuff. I literally got to the point where I was like, okay, cool. In order to make this new building, I need steel. But in order to make steel, I need some gold and I need some iron. But in order to make the iron, I need to have some coal. But then I've also run out of wood, so I then need to go and farm some trees and go and cut down some trees so I can then go and turn them into coal, to then turn the coal into the iron, into the gold, which I can then turn that into steel. And then after that, I'm then obviously got the materials that I need to craft this building, and then it all goes over again. And that's kind of a simple flow, right? There's not really much more to the farming aspect than that. But because it's so simple and it's so kind of easy to pick up, you can literally, while technically speaking, you can play it for 5 minutes. You're not going to play it for 5 minutes, let's be honest. You're going to sit down and that 5 minutes is going to turn into 5 hours. But principally, because of the way that it is so simple and so kind of, very easy to get into, and, unlike something like Stardew Valley, which might work around like a day and night cycle and stuff, this one you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. So you really can fit your farming into any part of your day. But what I like about it so much is that every single time there is, and I've made sure that I'm playing this specifically zero guides. I'm sure some people might be looking at my island and be like, that is not an efficient way to do stuff. You should build this, you should have done that. But I'm like, you know what? I don't want to know this stuff. I went into this game completely blind. I'd seen one person stream it before, just a little bit. I was like, it looks cool. Don't want to see any more than that. But I went in specifically and I was like, I want to discover everything myself. If I don't know something, I'm not going to go online and be like, how do I get this? I'm going to find it. So, for example, for the longest time, I needed to get oil to be able to build something else, and I just couldn't work out how to get oil. I was like, maybe I need to, use a bottle and fill it up from some place that I have yet discovered, or maybe I need to buy it from the market. And then eventually I unlocked the offshore mining rig, which then mines oil for you. And then when I got that, I was like, oh, so then I was able to use that to build the next structure. But then following on from there, I was like, all right, now I need electronics and plastic, but I have no idea how I can even make them. And then, of course, fast forward again, I unlock some more skills. I then unlock the ability to build a factory, which then builds that. And then the cycle goes on. So I just love this kind of gradual discovery where every single time you unlock a new building, suddenly there's new stuff for you to be able to craft, which you haven't even encountered up until this point. So you then go on this whole new journey. So while initially it gets a little bit repetitive to begin with, because obviously the stuff you're working with is stone and coal and gold and, all the kind of obvious stuff. But then eventually when your item pool starts expanding massively and there's so much more stuff to think about, then you really get the cool juggling thing, because then you're trying to sort of be as efficient as possible, because early on you also do all your farming yourself. You go around and mine everything, but then later on you're able to build mining rods, which then actually mine things for you. So instead of actually having to mine stuff now, I just go and place these rods all around the islands and I just sit back and my items and my materials start coming in, which is cool. Then suddenly you become less of a miner and a farmer, you become more of a manager. You're like, all right, my items are farming themselves, let me go and work out what I can do with them. So you're then putting things in the forge, trying to build things all the time, making sure you've always got enough materials. You can then go and stack new stuff, and then suddenly you buy new land and there's a temple in there, and then you got to go and fight some bosses. I went through the ancient temple the first time, and I actually defeated the boss, but got killed as I defeated it, and the loot chest was there, and I was like, how are you going to do me like that? And I had to do the whole thing again. And there's some cool puzzles as well. I discovered this new area, which I currently don't know what to do. And again, if you guys are watching this, don't tell me. I'll work this out eventually. But I found this new area, and I went inside, and there's zero communication on what I need to do. But again, that's what I like about this game. It doesn't tell you what you should be doing. It kind of just sort of it hints at it by, the things that are laid out or the things that are surrounding this area. But outside of that, it kind of just says, you're going to work it out yourself. And having that freedom to just explore, dig up stuff, farm, and then gradually discover this world, gradually kind of, uncover the pathways, uncover what you should be doing, optimally, is actually a really kind of refreshing experience. Because now I feel like I'm getting my island into a decent flow. There's obviously more stuff I need to do. There's more buildings I have yet to unlock. There's more skills I have yet to get. But I'm already getting into a slightly better flow where I'm running out of materials less and less because I've already kind of got them banked and got them made. So I'm always in a position where I'm kind of ready to build stuff whenever I want it. So now I'm just trying to work out how to then go next. Now I'm kind of, farming more money so that I can buy some more islands so I can start unlocking even more stuff. So yeah, it's a really simple flow. It's a really simple game. If you haven't played it before, then you can obviously see from the gameplay there's not like a great deal of stuff going on, but it's that simple flow that is massively, massively addictive, and I love it. So yeah, that's my weekend. That's basically been, like, there's so many games out right now, like Fire Emblem is out, which I still need to work through that. Vest is like our Fire Emblem expert. He's plowed through the game, but I'm still just like, I'll get there eventually. Meanwhile, I'm out here juggling like Tales of Vesperia and Forager, but I don't care. I love it. I'm really enjoying the game. I'm traveling soon for like things like Gamescom and other stuff like that. So Forager is 100% going to be my aeroplane game. Alright, let me just interject there really quickly. So this video was originally made last week with the intention of going out the weekend. I moved it to Monday, and then because of that, I had a chance last week when I was traveling to play even more Forager, and suddenly I got to the end game part where it all starts falling together, and I mean, the gameplay is just crazy, right? I hit this point, I was on the aeroplane, and suddenly, I don't even know exactly what happened, but I unlocked some skills, and then suddenly I went from kind of running out of materials to, oh my gosh, I've always got so many damn materials that I don't even know what to do with it. So now, as you can see, my island is completely different to how you guys saw it in the previous gameplay, because now everything is just making things 24/7. I've got hundreds of items, I'm building whatever I want, whenever I want, and I even unlocked some shrines so that when I boost the construction, things build at a crazy alarming rate, and I'm just getting tons of nutty XP at the same time. So, yo, this game just went from something that was like grabbing me and hooking me before to like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. It's almost got that kind of cookie clicker vibes. So, yeah, enjoy this clip. But that's it. That's Forager. If you haven't played it before, check it out. It's a lot of fun. But that's it from me. I really hope you guys enjoyed that video. Remember to hit that subscribe button and also click on the little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss my next upload. Also, don't forget, you can check out 269 and Paradise Central streaming over on Twitch 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. Be sure to drop by and get involved. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.